In this video, I'm gonna show a rapper how to use Ableton Live. We're gonna create a track together. He's even gonna write lyrics and lay down some bars. The rapper's my friend Walt, who works at Splice. He's on the Discord team, and he's always wanted to get into production. And now that new Splice subscribers get a copy of Ableton Live Lite for free, he finally decided to take the plunge and wants to make his first track. Make sure you stick until the end to see the finished product. I actually think it turned out really well. What's up, Walt? How's it going, man? How are you doing?
What's up, man? I'm so excited to be here. I've wanted to learn Ableton for so long, and we're gonna make it happen today, right now. I'm always in the studio, a little bit jealous that I can't produce, and I feel like once you learn how to produce, you can really create your own sound. I've been going through so many samples on Splice, trying to figure out what samples kind of match my sound, and I was able to locate a couple that I was like, yo, this is it. This sounds like me.
Yeah, let's hear it. I think you slacked them to me. Let's open them. You know, we're gonna be able to turn this into an idea for sure.
Not bad, not bad.
Ooh, baby.
I think it's the first one. The first one kind of stands out to me a little bit.
Yeah, let's download it. You know, if you hit that plus, it'll download it to the desktop app.
Okay.
But you know, you actually go download it directly from web now, which is awesome. Yeah, that's actually just gonna download directly to our downloads folder.
Wow.
So the file's right there at the bottom. And yeah, let's go ahead, just take that into Ableton.
Each of these are the tracks?
Yeah, so each of those 4 vertical columns are tracks, and we're in the session mode, which is this live performance view.
Okay.
Right now, we're just gonna switch to the arrangement view, which is the timeline view. So go ahead, hit tab in Ableton. So now we're in arrangement view, and if you look at the bottom, you see the time at the very bottom, 0 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. At the very top, you see the measure numbers. So this is like the timeline from left to right. Let's just drag this sample from the website, you know, right at the bottom down there, directly onto the timeline.
Oh, wow. This is definitely a new feature from Splice. Save some time for sure.
And now if we hit space bar, it should be able to play it back. So hit space. Another cool trick we can do is on the second track we're on, see how I have the second track highlighted?
Yeah.
Go ahead, hit Command F on your keyboard, which is gonna search for all instruments. And now type in the word simpler. Now we're gonna see that first device.
Yep.
Drag that onto track 2. This is a very powerful sampler for Ableton. It says simpler, but it's actually very powerful. And one of the coolest features is the slice mode. Now that you can see the device at the very bottom, the slice mode is going to allow us to kind of chop different points in the sample and assign them quickly to different keys. So what we're going to do is drag that sample, that orange sample, into the drop sample here box. Boom.
Boom.
And now go to the slice mode, that third one. Yep. And now on the keyboard, I'm going to actually use this icon, and I'm going to show you at the very top right. It's this icon right here. This allows us to use our keyboard for. So now, wait, let's get it in the right range. Z and X go to different octaves in your keyboard. So hit your W key, and that should trigger. Now there's probably a lot of latency because we're doing this over Zoom. And now hit all the other keys across your keyboard. You can do the different chops.
That's dope.
Yeah, you can hear this how we chop this up. It's probably really hard for you because you're on this like Zoom latency and but yeah, you can hear the idea. And so like one thing I'll show you is like, let me just take the transpose knob right here.
Okay.
This will transpose everything.
That sounds.
And we can take the sensitivity down right here. The sensitivity will take the amount of chops down, so that's really nice. So now let's just like get a pattern in there. And to do that, we just need to highlight where in the timeline we want to put the music. So in the second track, well, if you just go to track on the second track, highlight the time from maybe 1 to 5, and then hit Shift Command M, that will create a new MIDI clip. Shift Command M. Yeah, you got it. And see that yellow box? That's what we call a clip in all DAWs, in all like digital audio workstations and software. We call these boxes clips, and that's like where the audio, you know, either it's MIDI or audio gonna live in. So it's like, go ahead, double click on that yellow box. Yep. And this is our MIDI pattern. Now, the other thing is like, we're just gonna kind of have to figure out where in the keyboard, like the samples are. The best way we can do that is use that little headphone icon underneath the word fold. Yep.
Okay.
We'll just kind of hit the notes. I think C1 is the default bottom. So just hit some of those notes and see. Yeah. To zoom, I'm just gonna show you.
Yeah.
So that's gonna zoom. That's very, very powerful command scroll wheel. That kind of sounds good. This one chop repeated could be kind of cool in the tempo. So to start putting in notes into the pattern, all you have to do is double click in this grid, what we call the grid, the piano roll, where you want to put the notes. So go ahead, just double click that first note, C#1. Yep. And now if you hit space bar, we should hear that. Wait. What we heard was both tracks playing. Hit Shift Tab really quick. Shift Tab will kind of switch between the piano roll and the device. So now we're just seeing the devices down there, the instrument. And what happened was track 1 is still on, the original track. So go ahead, go to the very top where you see 1 and turn it off.
Right here?
Just clicking it. Yep, just click it. So it sounds like it's like playing a little fast, Walt. So if you hear it, if you go into the control right on the simpler, and you see right below the waveform, there's that warp mode. So let's just turn that on. And the Complex Pro is a good algorithm. That's like the most CPU intensive one. We can mess around with that formants parameter, really dictate the kind of the timbre of the sound, how like the quality of it. I like it down at 0. It sounds much cleaner. Like. That's a nice one. Yeah. We can start with that one instead of C#1. I kind of like that one. They're kind of the same, but one's higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, try that.
Is there a way to see how long the samples is going to run?
If you want the note to affect how long it does run, then we go to gate mode instead of trigger.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
If watch, I'm gonna hit Shift Tab, gate mode. Listen to this. So now we can make this long.
Oh. Whoo, yeah.
And then down something like right here. Maybe this one. And if you repeat that, let's hear how that. So now if you highlight that structure.
Click and drag, correct?
Click and drag and kind of select. Yep, exactly. Highlight it all. Now Command D will duplicate now, but where will it duplicate? I just want to hit Command Z really quick. One really important thing in Ableton is like that little blue area that's being, yeah, exactly. That is the silence after, and that also gets duplicated. And that's really important. All DAWs handle this a little differently. So what you want to do is just make sure you highlight from 1 to exactly up to 3, or else you're going to get that extra time in the structure. But you're actually not, yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good. There, perfect. Command D for duplicate. And now we can make a variation on the second go around, which is like phrasing. That's called phrasing. And so now we're going to try to make a variation. Cut short. So yeah. Now it could be cool. Oh, that is it to me. I think that one's the one. So now what we can do, Walt, is I really like that kind of phrasing. Let's maybe duplicate that clip, which is that yellow clip now. So select the top part of it, and now Command D will duplicate it. And let's do it like so it's 4 units total, so up to 17. Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and navigate to the Splice desktop app, and we'll find a hi-hat loop to kind of support this melody chop. If you're not familiar with the type one shot versus loop, one shot's just going to be one singular hit of a sound, generally one transient, one little note of it, versus a loop is going to be like the whole pattern. So that's the difference. We want a loop, though, for this case.
Let's get it.
So the other feature, I want to show you is if you hit those 2 circles that like right there, That's going to show you similar sounds to that one. So if you
Got
now
it.
go in this list, that uses AI technology to find results that are similar in our library and serve them to you.
It's not bad, but it may be that first one we found.
So let's go ahead, take that and drag that onto one of the blank audio tracks, like 3 or 4. So literally just drag and drop, boom, right onto the track. Yep. And let's get it right at the beginning. One thing we haven't addressed are the levels of each track, and those are on the right-hand side, right underneath the track number. Is a number 0, and that's the decibel. So if we take that down, click and drag that downwards, that's going to lower the level. Let's hear that again. Exactly. And the other thing I want to say is like we can also pitch the hat. So one thing we can do is go ahead, single click on the hi-hat, and if you go into the left side, there's a pitch ST parameter. So if you take that up or down, that'll take the hi-hat pitch up or down. Yeah, maybe a little lower. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you just need a kick and snare now, man. I feel like we could bump up the tempo too. The 150, I feel like just maybe 160, 170. Let's try hearing it there. So to change that, you can go to the very top where it says 150. That's our tempo. Let's go to like 160 or 170. Yeah, and if you ever want to just get exact value, just type in the number 160. Yep, exactly. A little more. We're out of MIDI tracks, so a keyboard command that's very useful is Shift-Command-T. Go ahead and do that. That creates a new MIDI track. And now we can put an instrument. The instrument I love most in Ableton is in Ableton Lite, which is amazing, and that's drum rack. So go ahead, Command-F. It will always get you to the search bar. Type in drum rack, boom. And then if you want to hit Enter, you can just load it really quickly, boom. So it's down at the bottom. And what we're going to do is find a kick and a snare. So we can kind of just like, this has 128 sample slots. We're only going to use a few for now, like a kick and snare, so maybe some percussion like toms. Yeah, that one sounds awesome. Let's get that one and put that into C1.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and then, well, the volume is kind of important. So we can take that up, the -12 where it says volume. We can take that up maybe to like -6. This one sounds nice.
Yes.
Snares are pitched, and it's really important that the snare kind of matches the key of your song as best as you can. So sometimes I like to start with a clap or something, but this one is, I think, close enough so we can work with it. Go ahead and highlight the time from 1 to 9, Shift-Command-M. So now you can see the kick and snare are kind of like the 2 notes there. The grid is 1/16. Actually, that might not be what we need because we're at 160. We're at double kind of speed where we're used to. So to switch the grid, you can right click in the grid, or you can use Command 2 or 1 to kind of switch grid quickly. I like using that, Command 2. So now we're in like 1/8 grid. So let's put the snare, the vinyl trap snare on 1.3. Yeah, that one on 1.3. And then highlight the time 1 to 2. Command duplicate now, Command D. And just do that across, boom. Like that gives a little syncopation, maybe right here.
Okay, and kicks normally fall on the 1 and 3, correct?
The kicks will generally fall on one of the downbeat of like the whole phrase. That's like the most like characteristic things. Like maybe the kick will always be around here to kind of outline where the phrase starts. But no, like it doesn't necessarily have to stay here. Like I think on 1.4 sounds like good. 2.2 could sound good right here. So listen to this. So that has a little different kind of spacing than this one.
Yeah. Is there a way that I could play the keys with the piano or the actual keys and have it record and do it that way?
All you have to do is on the top right, do you see this keyboard right here?
Yeah.
That's armed, and that means that my keyboard will hit this track. And then basically I could just do this. Watch, I'm gonna try it. So I'll be like 1, all right, go. Now, one thing I want to point out is, do you see it's deleting the other notes? To make sure it doesn't delete the notes, you just make sure the plus sign is on. That's called overdub in Ableton.
Got it.
Overdub. To quantize, all you have to do is select all the notes. To do that, all you have to do is click on that piano note. It'll actually highlight all the notes in that row. Boom, that's perfect. And quantize, you can always right click on all these menus to find what I'm talking about later, Walt, but the keyboard command is Command U. So just hit Command U and that should quantize it. You see how it kind of snapped it to the grid there? You know, and this one's a little off. This one's a little late. You can kind of see that in the time. But then this is closer.
That's fire.
There's some potential there. The last thing I want to show you is like, let's add a little automation. Let's go ahead, highlight all of measure everything from 1 to 9. Now Command D and just duplicate that across.
Gotcha.
This is a good technique to get a track idea. Now, if you look at the very bottom, we're about at 30 seconds on the timeline. Just hit Command D across, Command D. Let's keep going. Let's get to 1 minute there. That's good. So that way, at least we know we have a target length of about a minute so you can get some ideas in. And we need to now arrange this so it's a little more creative, right? And one of the base things we can do is let's just take away the hi-hats and the drums right at the beginning. So highlight and delete. The last thing I think would be really dope is like, going on to that second track that's highlighted, let's take a filter. So Command F, type in the word filter, which is an effect in Ableton that will allow us to filter out different frequencies, whether that's the low frequencies, the high frequencies, the middle frequencies. So take that filter, just drag it onto the second track, and now hit Shift Tab so that we're gonna go into the device mode, Shift Tab. Well, take that little yellow circle in the auto filter device, and as you drag that to the left, what the device is gonna do, it's gonna cut out the high frequencies. This is called a low pass. It only lets in the low frequencies. And this is a good way, maybe we can start the sample to make it a little more mysterious.
Got it.
Yeah, let's record that. We can record that motion. Go ahead and make sure you select that track. All you have to do is hit the record sign, and as long as those two, see that plus, this plus icon at the very top next to the record sign?
Yeah.
That's on. That means we're not going to overwrite the notes because we're not adding new notes. So that's good. We want that on. And then the two yellow hollow circles that are connected, that's already on.
Yeah.
That's the automation. So that needs to be on to record what's called automation, which means the parameters we move over time, it records that motion. So basically hit the record icon at the very top, the solid record icon. Yep. And then go move the circle around. We'll switch to automation mode. Do you see that? If we want to adjust like where this happens or like fine tune any of that, we can shift it, we can delete it. And then Ableton has one of the best automations in the game by like having skewing it and like using shapes, custom shapes we could do this. It's really very kind of powerful, definitely.
Are we gonna add 808s to this beat?
If you put it in simpler. Yeah, man, I think this is an amazing start. And like, you know, we've definitely got the core of a beat down. So if you are down, I'm going to try to, you know, maybe change some of the drum patterns, you know, to add some variations, a little more of an arrangement. And then, yeah, I think I should just send this to you and then you can, you know, write some lyrics on top of it.
That sounds like a plan. I was definitely want to get this created. Definitely feel like I know how to maneuver Ableton. There's so many amazing features on it that I think will help me find that sound that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna take this track, write something to it, get it to you, and definitely curious to hear what all y'all think.
Lately I'm moving magic. What is it that you do? Lately I'm moving magic. I said, what is it? Lately I'm moving magic. What is it that you telling me? Lately I see the picture. Damn, he called it a felony. I ain't wanna go listen. What is it that you telling me? Calling endorphins and handling over the mezzanine. No telling what's in the penicillin. Cause when the money gone, I swear it's less appealing. And she said she just wanna hear it after healing. I just hope when the money comes, stack it to the ceiling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Different maneuver, damn, I got the city straight. I swear you jumping off your ledge cause you just saving face. I swear cause you just got some money, now you think you safe. Where you folks? Deflect the anime up in the state. Is it safe to get along? Go make it happen, it's in the fabric, don't question fate. She said the money is coming different, still I don't wanna listen. I swear you rushing to come up now that the diamonds glisten. I just hope it don't blind you from all of the oppositions. I said lately I've been off the past though. Diamonds got them pissed off, now they wanna lay. Real, I'm off the prison, skin a darker shade. Took a sip, I'm on the lake, while you tripping about the plays. Really thought about it, it was written on their face. Never wanna hand me out, while you ain't flipping pictures, you in the kennel. Off the vinyl, you singing like you on Jimmy. Now you in over your head, you stuck in the middle. Why I gotta lose it on the question if I'm sentimental.